A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I trust that everyone is having a wonderful day today. Guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. My name is Dwight, and it's a great pleasure to have you here. So, guys, if you're new to the channel, I welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So, my beautiful people, welcome back to another reaction video. And on today's agenda, we're going to be diving into how to read Polish or something by how to Polish. All right, so it is so nice to know how to pronounce different languages so that you don't butcher them even if you don't understand them. Now, guys, this is something that I've done a very well, not very, but this is something that I've been doing. Well, this is something that I often do, and it's time I just get the right pronunciations. All right, so I'm excited to see how that goes. So, guys, for those of you who knows more about it than I do, please feel free to leave your suggestions, engage with the audience. And if you like the video, don't forget, like, subscribe, and share with your friends and your families. All right, so without any further ado, let me get this. Let's dive right in.
What is this? Who created this? Is this even a real sentence, or did a cat walk on my keyboard while carefully avoiding vowels? Did Polish people eat their vowels during occupation and couldn't afford to grow new ones? Yes, and soon they're going to eat yours unless you learn to read this mess before they find out where you live. Luckily, to read this, you don't need to learn a new alphabet. This isn't Cyrillic or Asian moon runes. Additionally, unlike English, each letter represents a specific sound, so as soon as you learn what each letter sounds like, you win. Obviously, the ability to read does not equal the ability to understand, but it just might impress your Polish friends enough to stave off their appetite. Now keep in mind, I'm not a real teacher. I have no higher education, no real experience with teaching anyone anything, no more knowledge than a typical native speaker at best, and I didn't even pay attention in high school, so feel free to consider me the best person for the job and ultimate authority on the subject.
Let's see if we're gonna learn. Alright.
Okay, let's have a look at the first word, wszyscy. I've heard people say it has no vowels, but it does. This letter here is a clear vowel in Polish and makes the sound I, like in the word system. While in English it can also sound like I in Y, I in study, or even Y in yellow, because English makes no sense. In Polish it always makes the sound I. The same goes for every other vowel. A, O, E, I, O, U. They all make one specific sound with no exceptions. There are two versions of U, but both sound exactly the same.
Oh.
It's dumb, but so am I, so I can jump.
Alright, so guys, just let me go back to the vowels. Now, alright, so A, E, I, O, U. Now, A, E, I, O, U. So, I want to hear how they do this pronunciation again.
In Polish, it always makes the sound I. The same goes for every other vowel. A, O, E, I, O, U. They all make one specific sound with no exceptions. There are two versions of U, but both sound exactly the same. It's dumb, but so am I, so I can't judge. Now I would like to say it's the same for consonants, but there is one tiny exception I noticed while writing this. W in wszyscy should sound like W, wódka, wojna, but it seems to soften up to an F, wszyscy. I suggest ignoring this issue completely because frankly, who gives a shit? I can hardly tell the difference myself. We know now that this is V and this is I. Time for this. Every time these two letters are together, they make the sound sh. English does the same thing, except instead of using S and Z, it uses S and H, like in shoe, shenanigans, or shower, which you haven't taken for too long, and I can smell you from here. In addition to sh, we also have a bunch of other little shits stuck together to form new sounds. Whenever you see any of these, they each make one sound, which makes the scary sentence at the beginning significantly more manageable. Now for the last sound we need to explain in the word wszyscy. This is ts. It's like a vocalization of the drum sound when your dad makes a joke. Badum ts. Except shorter. Cycki, cena. S needs no explanation, as it's exactly the same in both languages, so we're done. You should now be able to decode wszyscy. Unlike in English, where letters have dreams and can be whatever the hell they want, in Polish you simply pronounce each sound one after another and you get the word. W, sz, I, sy, cy, I. Wszyscy. Okay, so we've explained a bunch of stuff and decoded wszyscy. Now let's continue reading the insane looking sentence I had started this video with. We already know sh. Next we have ch, which is a combination similar to English C and H in words such as children, touch and chop. Now Polish ch is a bit harsher than its English counterpart, but there's also a comparable softer sound, ch. You can hear both in the word cześć. English version falls somewhere in between those two. Next we have the vowel O. It's just O. It has always been O, and that's all it ever will be. Unlike in English, where it can be O in mob and rob, O in broke and smoke, but also A in stop and mom. And don't get me started on two O's sounding like U in food, but O in door. Truly, English makes no sense and should be abolished. Moving on. D is the same in both languages and needs no explanation. J is a combination not similar to anything I can think of in English, but there are some French names you may be familiar with, such as Jean-Claude Van Damme, which seem to use the same J sound. J can be written in two ways, both sound exactly the same, but for any given word only one is correct. That's dumb, but luckily we're trying to learn to read here, not write, so you don't have to worry about it. There are some very rare cases of R and Z not...
Well, as for me, I am trying to learn the right pronunciations. So I am learning, so much from that. So guys, now my Polish speaking is gonna be probably a lot different. I'm going to have the right pronunciations now because I didn't know it was ch and I didn't know, so now I know. All right, so guys, I'm gonna bring this back. Let's continue watching.
You don't have to worry about it. There are some very rare cases of R and Z not forming Ż, but you'll probably never encounter them, and I can only think of one example, marznąć, so I'd recommend to forget about it and act surprised when you run into this 5 years from now. Vowel E. The sound is E and nothing else. Even if a Polish person were to read the English word even, it would probably sound even, because vowels in Polish don't care about your soft tongue and refuse to bend. But you know what does bend? The sponsor of this... Nah, just kidding. I don't have a sponsor. I have not yet been szczodrze given the opportunity to sell myself out. And so we're done with the word szczodrze. O-d-ż-e. Szczodrze. Now for głaszczą. G is the same as in God, given or game, but not G in forge. For that kind of sound we have the combination of D and Ż, dżem, dżuma, or for double the fun, dżdżownica. W is like W in English work or way. A is another unchanging, never-bending vowel. It's not hard, but it is in the word hard, and that's what it always sounds like. While in English it often replaces other vowels when they come to work sick, such as O in fall, E in angry, in Polish it's always A.
Okay.
We've already covered sh and ch, so next is on. It's like A with a little tail. It's cute. The same sound shows up in the word telephone. In theory, it's supposed to sound always the same, just like other vowels, but I guess it can sometimes turn into on if you don't try hard enough. Like in the word mądrość, it often sounds like mądrość, and no one seems to care. Now then, głaszczą is done. Time for wstrzemięźliwe. I know this word looks ridiculous, after all that's the reason I created this nonsensical sentence to begin with, but bear with me. We start with the already known to us w from wszyscy, kinda softened up to an F, but whatever. S and T are the same as in English. So far so good. If you can draw someone's attention while whispering psst, you can also say psst. Next we have ż and e, already encountered in szczodrze, then m, the same as in English. Wstrzem. Now vowel e. Like the rest of them, it always sounds the same. Instant fit defeat. E, easy. Next up is ę. Similarly to how a had a variant o, e has a variant ę. You take that e and you drag it a little bit. E, ę. It's like you have e in thank you and ę in thank you? It makes sense if you don't think about it. Ż. Another case of two ways of writing this sound and only one being correct for any given word. One is technically shorter than the other, but it's not all that noticeable. Źle, zima. Z and E together always make a Z sound. As far as I know, there is no Z in Polish, and if there is, it's probably a borrowed foreign word. L, the same as in English. E, W and E have already been covered, so we're done here. W, S, T, ż, e, m, i, e, ź, l, i, w, e. Wstrzemięźliwe. Wstrzemięźliwe. Last word in our monstrosity, pszczoły. By now you've realized that what may look like 5 consonants stuck together is actually just 3. P is the same as in English and everything else we've already mentioned. P, sz, czy, o, ły, y. Pszczoły. Now if you were a perfect student capable of learning everything on the first try, which you are not, you would be able to now...
Oh my god! Oh my god, how did you know, man? This guy is so freaking funny. How did you know? Because this is a video I think I have to sit down, really sit down, and I'm gonna do it. You know, sit down and listen to this. Make sure I go through it step by step, and you know, put the different syllables together and put it in English as well, so that I would get the right pronunciation. You know, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Very interesting. All right, guys. So bring this back and let's continue watching.
Student capable of learning everything on the first try, which you are not, you would be able to now read Wszyscy szczodrze głaszczą wstrzemięźliwe pszczoły. This sentence, however, does not contain everything, so let's fill in the gaps and teach you how to read every Polish sentence there is. In theory, anyway. Here's all the stuff there is. Here's all the stuff we haven't covered yet. And here's all the stuff we haven't covered yet, excluding things identical in English.
Okay.
Let's start with you hardworking human. It's exactly the same as in English, except it has 2 variants. C and H together also make and I've been told this version is supposed to be a bit softer, but I honestly can't hear the difference, so most likely neither will you. Chleb, chiny, honor, horror. Yi. In English, you often write down this sound as Y in words such as yellow or yes. If you wanted to force Poles to read English against their will, you could write these words like this. Yellow, yes. Ni. 2 versions, one shorter, one longer, that sort of thing. You start with an N and soften it to ni. Koń, niski, danie. Rather simple. I'm 90% sure it's not a Monty Python reference.
Danie.
U. 2 versions, both sound the same. Always U. Dumny, grubas, Kraków. It will never be A, no matter how hard it craves English but. R. While in English, depending on the accent, R is sometimes barely even there. In Polish, it's always der, tough as nails and ready to drill holes in you. Have fun trying to pronounce that, and if you do, dobra robota. She. It's like a softer sh, which I've already compared to English sh in shoe. Siła, siorbać, coś. From the harshest to the softest, I drank them like this. Dzy. It's not much different than if the letters were separate, to be honest. Feels like this merge is simply the effect of reading d and z very fast. Pieniądze, dzwonek. It's not dzwonek, but dzwonek. I suppose it could be considered a harsher dzwonek. Dż. We've covered z turning into ż, and now this can merge with a d into dż. Dżem, dżuma. You use a close enough sound when calling the name of the world's favorite religious figure, Jesus. In Polish, we call him Jezus. But if we were to pronounce his name the English way, we'd write it down as Jesus. And lastly, dzi. Like before, we had a z turning into zi, and now we merge that with d to make dzi. Now that I think about it, maybe this would fit the English Jesus more. Dziwny, dzik, dźwięk, Jesus? In any case, if you've prayed hard enough and your faith in the Polish Jesus is strong, you should now be capable of reading Polish. You still won't understand anything, but at least the jumbled mess of consonants should make a little bit more sense, and if you're lucky, you might not throw up anymore at the mere sight of the word wszyscy. Praise Jesus, or your vowels will be eaten. What is this? Who created this? Is this even a real sentence?
Oh, yes, that was amazing. I enjoyed that, and I should have done that video before I, looked up on any of the Polish. I enjoyed it. I love the way that was done. The narrator did an amazing job, fantastic job. It was not just fun. It was not just funny. He made it very informative as well, and some of the letters that I know, the sounds that I've already know, You know, he just added to what I know. But I need to. I definitely gonna visit Poland one of these days. You know, I am definitely gonna visit Poland. You know, and it's absolutely learning. I would say to pronounce words correctly shows respect for other cultures and, you know, languages, even if you don't know the full meaning. But it's especially useful if you enjoy exploring music or like literature in different languages, guys. And you know, pronunciations can be learned quick, or I would say quickly, with online resources, or they have the language. They have different. Well, they do have different languages, apps. So, you know, even a little effort, guys, will make a very big difference. So well, guys, I grew up speaking English, you know, just English. And since I started growing up, we have this other language where it is called Creole. It's like I don't know if you guys ever heard of Creole. It's kind of like similar to French. Some of the words are just pronounced differently, you know. So that's my only two languages that I speak. And then I learn Spanish. I learn how to speak Spanish. I listen to a lot of Spanish songs, you know, a lot of Spanish shows. Yeah. So, and then next I started learning Swahili and Thai. Yeah, these are the two I started learning. But man, it's so difficult, man. Yeah. So now I will definitely be learning Polish. Alright, so guys, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share for friends and your families. You know, that will definitely help me out on my channel, or help us out on our channels. Alright, so I'll leave the original link down in my description so you guys can go and take a look. Feel free to leave suggestions, engage with the audience, because you know that's what we're all about on the channel. So I'll see you guys back, and you know, thanks to How to Polish for this amazing video. Alright, so guys, I'll see you next time. Have yourself a wonderful day. Alright, stay safe out there, and don't forget to share the love, not the hate. Peace out. Till next time, I love y'all.